Life gives you what you earn. Life gives you what you deserve. Life gives you what you prepared for. Life gives you what you sacrifice for, right? And and so I was talking to Taylor on the way to school, and I said, yeah, I said typically when you want more out of your life, you're gonna have to give more. I said it's almost like going to the mall, and everybody wants the most expensive clothes in the mall, but the most expensive clothes cost the most money. And so typically your heaven in many cases, not every case, but a lot of times it seems like your heaven lies on the other side of your hell. So if you embrace the heaven, if you really want the heaven, you got to really commit yourself to the idea that I got to be okay with going through the hell. And going through the hell, it's not a loss. It's not a bad thing for me. It's challenging, but it's not a loss. It's an investment, right? It's just like with a business. When you spend money, every business spends money, right? But not every business has a loss. Not every business is even making an expense. There's sometimes you spend money and you get nothing for it. That might be a loss or an expense, but sometimes you're spending money because it's an investment, right? I'm putting, JP Morgan spent $3 billion and they invested and they built the most beautiful, amazing state-of-the-art skyscraper in all of Manhattan. I walked by this building, it was gorgeous. That place has like 30 restaurants in it. I wanted to go inside. I wanted to go get a job at JP Morgan Chase just so I can go in the building. And I think they did this because they wanted to convince their employees to come back to the office. So they just made the office like Disneyland basically. But I walked by this place and all these people were standing around. It was like a ribbon cutting and they were all looking up. So of course, when everybody else is looking up, I look up and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? This is amazing. So that was an investment. That was not really an expense. That was definitely not a loss, right? If you use the investment the right way, then it's an investment. So I think the question at the end of the day for those who want things, in fact, let's stop right there. Let's pause right there because I've said a lot. How many of you have something that you really want in your life? How many of you can think of, if I said, what do you want? How many of you can answer me in 10 seconds? If I said, what's the thing that you want the most? What is it that you dream about? Like, what is it that you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait till this happens. I really want this. How many of you really have something that you want? Put a yes in the chat. Let's manifest our dreams right now, right? Okay, because I got things I want. We all got things that we want. Um, and all right, well, I would almost say that my challenge for you would be to sit down and also figure out like what is required to get what I want, and have I given as much as that is which is required for me to have that. Like, have I given at the level? Have I sacrificed at the level that matches what I want at the end of the tunnel? Did I invest as much as I need to receive the reward that I feel I deserve? And most of the time, the answer is honestly going to be no, because if it was the case, then chances are you already have it, right? Or maybe you're already doing it, but you haven't done it long enough, right? Like J.P. Morgan spent $3 billion on this building, but I bet they didn't pay $3 billion in one day. Maybe they spent $10 million a week for however many weeks, right? Like whatever it was, right? So you spend the first 10 million, the second 10 million, the third 10 million, the fourth 10 million, and you're like, damn, the building's not here yet. Well, that's because you haven't gone through the process. Distance equals rate times time. What does that mean? That means that basically you have the rate, which is the rate at which you're giving, and then you have the amount of time that you've given. So sometimes you just haven't been doing it long enough. Does that make sense? You went to the gym twice, but that don't mean you're gonna lose that 30 pounds. Maybe you gotta go to the gym 800 times. Or I don't know, right?